Welcome everybody to the Mere Nonsense podcast. I, why do we do it this way? Why do I do it this way?
Why do you do it that
Why do you do
way?
it this way?
I gotta find another way of saying it. I don't know, man. Is all right. You know what? We'll just jump into it. Is there a chance that some astronaut drew a penis on the moon and it's still there?
Absolutely.
Oh, still there? No. But Drew Penis, yeah.
How big one or small one? Like, is he trying to? Did he try to leave like an actual mark there?
I mean, like, I'm sure he made a sizable one, but I don't think that, uh, how big of a penis do you have to make to see it from Earth, right? Like I don't think he'd be able to do that.
I mean, he just had his fucking colleague lay down on this back on the moon and then just drew around him, and that was the penis.
It's doable.
You gotta do is some balls.
I think it's still there.
I would imagine because there's not. It's like there's no wind on the moon. You know, there isn't really an atmosphere on the moon that would disrupt it, unless like a fucking
Right. What would disrupt it?
like a meteor hitting it or like a rover going over it. Something would be the only thing I could think of. But I mean,
Wasn't there like solar winds or something? Like, I don't fucking know, but
Solar winds, that's a thing?
I think so. Solar winds.
This is
Maybe not.
brought to you by people that know absolutely nothing about space. And here we go.
I
So
think it's just in
I
a certain area of the sun, isn't it?
I typed in penis drawn on the moon, and the first article I got was from 2015. We sent a dick pic to the moon, and we're doing it again.
Okay. You know what? Props to them for the consistency.
The first dick pic allegedly landed on the moon in 1969.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. It could have been someone after.
It blasted off from Earth 5 days earlier, hidden aboard Apollo 12's lunar lander by a mysterious NASA engineer only known as John F.
John
I love how a
Fox.
NASA engineer fucking did it too.
I mean,
And then
this
from
this guy has to be Johnny Sins, for being honest.
Obviously. This is Johnny Sins and this is Jackass.
Yeah. It's sending a penis to space. Thanks for entertaining that stupid question.
Good question.
Boys.
do you think we can draw a penis on the moon now?
I would argue it's easier to do it now.
Well,
I feel like
we haven't landed on the moon since 69, right?
Because we're going past the moon to fucking Mars and shit.
I feel like at this point we're obliged to do so.
I feel
We're
like it should
obligated.
be a 10-year thing. Every 10 years, send up a new astronaut to put a new dick on the moon.
I feel like Billy's a moon landing denier.
The moon's not even real. The Earth isn't even fucking round. It's a flat Earth.
Yep, there you go.
Airplanes aren't even real.
I remember this girl swearing up and down back in high school that the moon was yellow and made of cheese.
Cheese.
I'm like, all right, dude, good for
It's
you.
made of sharp cheddar.
Not gonna argue with
He
that.
must have been from Wisconsin. That's actually a religion coming out of Wisconsin.
You know, I hope so.
I'm not surprised.
I'd like to visit, see how
Wisconsin?
culty it is there.
You don't want to.
Who knows? We might run into Jared Leto.
And Mike.
He's got a cult. People just really like him, I guess.
I
Speaking of-
learned
No, go ahead.
that Jared Leto was an American Psycho.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of memes going on around the time when he was in Suicide Squad movie where Batman ended up killing the Joker because, you know, he played Joker and then Christian Bale was Batman. So, all right.
Why do you always get food
At
On
this
the
time,
fucking
This is
podcast?
dinner time.
It is
How is this
10. Why
dinner
is 10
time?
p.m. dinner time? Real talk, see, I guess both of you. What time is actual dinner time? When is breakfast? When is lunch? When is dinner?
So my answer is a little complicated. Z, if you have a simple answer, you can go first.
Uh, I just got back into intermittent fasting within the last
Mhm.
month. So I'm essentially doing a schedule of 8 hours, and in those 8 hours, I, yeah, if I want to spread it out, I'll spread it out into 2,000 calories or so. But I'm essentially just eating two meals, trying to get into like 1,000 calories with each of them. Um, but since I got this new job, I am doing my first meal at 9 a.m. and then my last meal, second meal, at 4 p.m. And then the rest of the time it's fasting with either just water or black coffee.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, so traditionally for me the times are like breakfast around 7:30, 7:45 ish. You get your lunch around like 12 to 1, and then dinner typically between like, depends, 5 to 7 typically. 5 would be like if you got either an easy dinner or things are, you got like later plans. 6 to 7 being the more like traditional time slot. But no, the roommate usually takes a nap after work, so she wakes up and does dinner a little later.
All
You
right.
mean your taquitos and reheated pizza that you could have made yourself 2 hours ago?
I mean, I try not to touch the food in there that she might want. I touch like the snacky stuff that she says are specifically for me.
So what you're saying is you're a child.
Yes.
Mom doesn't want me to touch her food.
Exactly. Or the appliances.
Or the don't touch the thermostat, Billy.
What a guy. Oh my gosh.
No,
Uh,
sometimes I get stuff that I make for myself, but
what about
most
you,
of the
Brad?
time.
Um, Growing up, traditionally it was once you wake up, so like 7 or 8, and then lunch noon to 1, and then dinner would be between 5 and 6. I think for me now I don't eat breakfast, or like the first meal of my day is usually around noon or 1, and then I don't eat another meal until about 5 or 6, and then that's all I eat. Well, I mean, a snack in between, but um, Kara, her growing up, she didn't have dinner until like 6 or 7, so she's always um eating. There's like whenever she makes dinner, it's always around 6 or 7. I'm usually starving by then.
That's fair.
But I also, when I'm working, I forget to eat.
Mhm.
I don't usually remember to eat because I'm too busy.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. My
And
my
then
issue was always just like eating big meals, and now that I've been doing this, like it's been, quenching that, big meal type of situation, but also limiting my calorie count. So it's been good so far. I've been feeling so much better lately.
it's good. I operate more on a caffeine schedule than anything instead of a food schedule.
Same.
My biggest problem with caffeine is I usually chug the first monster while I'm eating like the first meal in the morning, and that's a mistake because then I'm crashing at 3 o'clock and then I need another one.
Mhm.
Yeah, I used to do that. I used to, I think at one point, for the most part, like I always, when I was heavy into constantly drinking Monster and stuff, I was trying to keep it at two per day at most, which
Yeah.
was still bad. But there were also days where I'd slip and just have three of them. Uh, Fuck, I don't want to
I'm
go back
having
to
a
those
bad day if
days.
I'm at 2.
Yeah, see, the way I did it for a good minute where it was like the first one worked, but sometimes it would work too well. And for
Yeah.
some reason, me drinking a second one would actually make me crash.
So I learned recently, and I think this was like a clip from the Joe Rogan podcast, and he had an expert on or whatever. So take this with a grain of salt. But obviously, so drugs have a half life, which is like how much time does it take for the drug to be uh half effective or like wear off in like half the amount of time or something. Caffeine has a quarter life, so um it has like the life of caffeine is about 12 hours or something like that, but the majority of it is taken is gone in like the first whatever so many hours. But the last quarter of that like caffeine life is still in your system until that 12-hour mark. So if you take one at noon, that caffeine's still in your system until midnight. Now, I have self-diagnosed myself with ADHD, as a lot of people have. I don't know if I actually have it or not, but I have a lot of signs that go towards the fact that I do. One
Maybe
of them
one day we'll
being
find out.
right, but one of them being caffeine makes people with ADHD more tired. And that happens to me. I don't wake up with caffeine. I just don't fall asleep, I think is the way I describe it. Like it prevents me from falling asleep, but I'm
Yeah,
still tired. I'm really groggy still.
right.
Mhm.
And then two, it's just the addiction at this point.
Love our
Yeah,
addictions.
makes sense. We should both just have an appointment together. We'll figure it out. Because I've been curious too. I just never
Yeah.
really taken that
You
step
know what?
forward to find out.
If I ever
There you
go
go.
see a therapist, I'll
All
figure it
three of
out.
us, Billy.
All three of us will
Okay.
go. We'll get checked for ADHD. We'll move into a streamer house and live with each other, and then we'll
Don't
also
touch me.
take those DNA tests. We'll do a 23andMe as well.
23 and me. You got a lot out of that just from taking a ADHD test.
We did a 23andMe, and I don't really remember too much. By we, my sister, she did one, and I don't remember too much of it. But apparently, I'm like a distant relative to a currently seated politician, like
Mm,
a senator or
makes
something.
sense. You are the most political out of all three of us.
Sure. Yeah,
Makes sense.
I'm the political one.
Hmm.
Uh, so going back to the because I just found out about this. Need
The
to
dick on the moon.
look it up real quick. No, the Jared Leto thing. So
Oh, that was this podcast.
apparently,
I forgot. Go ahead.
apparently, uh, Disney gave the go ahead finally for a Tron 3,
Mm.
but with Jared Leto.
Oh,
As who?
I don't know. It's actually okay. So a lot of these companies are talking about it, like Deadline, Hollywood Reporter. So I'm assuming it must be true. Disney moving on. Tron Ares. Uh, yeah, Jared Leto to star in it.
along with Garrett Hedlund and Olivia Wilde.
I am no longer excited. Oh well.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about that Tron movie?
The second one?
The the most recent one, the one
Yeah, the
with
second
Daft
one.
Punk in it.
Hmm.
Because
I
there's the
loved
one
it.
from, the when did
Yeah,
it come
that's
out?
the
Like
first
the
one.
80s or some
Well,
shit?
this one's a sequel to it.
Sequel to
The first one.
this the first
So
one?
so yeah, they're connected.
Because I don't think the second Tron, the one that came out, you know, when Blu-ray was getting popular, that was not, I don't think, a direct sequel. I think that was its
Well,
own
re-imaging, wasn't
standalone.
it?
Yeah, that was its own standalone thing.
It was like modernizing Tron.
Yeah.
Mm,
But so that one I found to be really cool. Stylistically, it was dope. Like
Hmm.
the Daft Punk like having the fucking like most of the soundtrack was cool. I have some of their music on my fucking Spotify playlist because I liked it that much. Um, I like that the I like the world that they built um inside the game. How
Hmm.
everything looked, how the city looked, how everything was animated or CGI'd, whatever. Um, the combat was pretty cool. I think I would have liked a little bit more out of the racing stuff because that was the big part of Tron OG.
It's literally what Tron was.
Yeah, no. So they're it's a direct sequel because Jeff Bridges was in the first one, the very first one, and he came back for the second one. Tron Legacy is the second one.
Oh,
So when he actually so in the first one when he actually comes back and he's actually around, and then in Tron Legacy when he's doing all that press talking about like the world is about to change because of what he experienced in the Tron world or whatever.
right.
uh
That was the
yeah,
first one.
that was right after the first.
Tron Tron himself was the bad guy in Tron Legacy because he was being controlled, right?
Yes.
That was him. Now I
Mm-hmm.
remember. Okay.
And he was trying to break free into the real world.
Well, not him. I'm saying there was like a red and black um suited guy. I think that was Tron. The dad, or not the dad, but the dad's
Oh, the
AI.
copycat, yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to break out in the
Right,
real
right, right,
world.
right, right, yeah.
And I think he was controlling Tron, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I think.
Tron was definitely, I guess, for lack of a better term, brainwashed in the second in
Yeah.
Tron Legacy.
Okay. Yeah. It's
Um,
been a while.
yeah,
But the when they were in it was like a bar scene or whatever kind of where or like a dance floor scene where Daft Punk is there playing the music live and there's
yeah,
a fight. That
dude,
was cool
that
as
will
fuck.
forever be like. I don't really listen to Daft Punk like that, but what a great like soundtrack they made for that movie.
It's a shame Kanye sucks because his remix of Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger was great.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that stronger song.
I like
That was in what's it called? That fucking MMA movie we used to watch
Never
all the
Back
time.
Down.
Yeah.
The oh God, what's his name? He was a drummer, made his own version of it, the rock version.
Hey, Travis Barker?
Yeah, right.
No?
He made his own version of that too for that one.
I don't know anything about that. So, but if he did, good for that guy. I feel like he's everywhere with music, except for his own band, which is what he's supposed to be in like Blink 182 or like Sum 41.
Is
One
he?
of those two.
He's a Sum 41.
Yeah.
Never Back Down had such a good contract. Not
Soundtrack.
contract, soundtrack.
Hmm.
Yeah. It
Um,
definitely did. That's where
especially for 2008 us,
Rise
But
Against.
yeah,
Um, that song by Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
uh, 12 something anthem
No, I think that one was the
or underdog or anthem of an underdog by 12.
12 Stones.
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe.
Pretty good soundtrack for that movie. That one was good.
Yeah.
Um,
Same vein, Disturbia. Same
Hmm.
same time frame. Also a very good soundtrack.
Hmm.
same.
I love Disturbia. I don't know why I like that movie so much. I
It's
want to go
yeah,
fucking watch that again. That's such a underrated ass movie. That was good.
yeah, it was simple movie that we just happen to really enjoy. They
Hmm.
didn't do anything revolutionary for it, but it was just fun.
And it's
Uh,
based off of what is it, Rear View Window or something? Rear
is it? I
View.
don't
So it was based off of I believe it was a Stanley Kubrick film.
know.
It was
Ooh,
black and white. A guy uh broke his leg and was under house arrest basically. Because like he couldn't leave. Because of the broken leg, and all he did was stare out his back window all day, and he saw his neighbor murder his wife.
Okay, this is wild. So like, all right, Stanley Kubrick. The fact that you're just talking about that movie kind of like, being inspiration from another Stanley Kubrick movie. I had just watched on New Year's Eve Interstellar for the first time.
Okay.
And I shit you not, dude. That movie jumped up to be my absolute favorite movie ever.
Yeah. And I'm
And
sorry, Alfred Hitchcock.
oh, Alfred Hitchcock?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Um so Christopher Nolan made Interstellar, and that was a essentially like a love letter to Stanley Kubrick's Space Odyssey 2001. Um and after watching Interstellar, like I really kind of wanted to like deep dive and like go watch all these other sci-fi movies that I never watched, like Martian, obviously Space Odyssey,
You never
and
watched Martian
no,
with Matt Damon?
no, those
That's
those
so good.
I think there
Oh,
was there was like a good what maybe like 5 years straight where like every year just had like a new sci-fi movie, and I was just like, I'll watch it sometime. It didn't really catch my attention all that much. Um, but yeah, dude, he like I said, that was kind of like a love letter to Stanley Kubrick's movie. And then I ended up watching one of Stanley's movies called A Clockwork Orange. What a
Yup.
weird fucking movie that was.
Yup.
Have you seen it, Billy?
I have not. I don't even think I've heard of it. Clockwork Orange.
So essentially, it's uh, it's about this guy that's kind of like a sociopath, psychopath, and he's a young guy. I want to say he's like 18, maybe still in high school. Who knows? I think he was. Yeah, he was in high school still, something like that. And he was just like constantly ditching school and then going out at night only with the boys and beating people up for no reason, taking their money, and actually like sexually assaulting people. And it got to the point where the guys that he was with didn't like him harassing them either. So they ended up framing him in a situation where he ended up going to jail or prison because he ended up killing an old lady. And then he found out that they were trying to do like some sort of experiment where they were trying to get the bad behavior out of him, essentially.
Mm.
And what they would do is they would just like put him up, like strap him down onto a chair, like open up his eyelids, like kept them open, uh, and just like putting his eyes, just like putting like eye drops on his eyes, which I'm assuming were filled like with some sort of drug, or if not, then just like constantly keeping his eyes wet so they don't dry up and whatever. But they would all end up like playing these movies of or videos of murder, rape, stuff like that. And
Mm.
it just like it pretty much turned him into a person that just the thought of that stuff would make him gag, and he couldn't do any of that stuff after a while, which ended up making him go free. But that was just a really, really weird movie. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Like, Stanley Kubrick making all these movies before then. Just, I kind of want to watch some more of his movies, but at the same time, I kind of don't. They're just that weird. Um, but, yeah, dude, fucking. I wonder how good Space Odyssey is if it makes Christopher Nolan just want to use that as inspiration.
So I haven't seen Space Odyssey all the way through, but get ready for one of the longest fucking intros of all time. The way it starts off is it basically shows you the creation of everything, and no words, no nothing for like the first 30, 45 minutes of the film.
Jeez. All right.
Nice.
All right. Who
It's
knows
an old
if
movie. It's an old
yeah.
movie. Have fun. Go watch The Martian first. That's a fantastic
Yeah,
movie.
The Martian was really good.
I'm surprised you didn't watch Interstellar earlier. Interstellar was a great movie.
Yeah, I'm kind of like kicking myself for not watching it earlier because it was just so good. Such a great movie.
Apparently, so I like The Martian a lot. Apparently, the book is such a drudge to get through because it's so the movie itself is very scientific and like Matt Damon doing science stuff right to live on Mars.
Hmm.
Essentially, the Martian is he's stranded on Mars
Yeah.
Mhm.
and he has to figure out how to live.
Right.
The book goes into depth on like he's using this to create manure and he's using manure to create this and then breaking it like down the science for page after page after page of that.
Damn.
It's got like a thing to collect moisture to keep plants watered and
That
yeah.
I liked the way they paced it in the movie. It was
Mm-hmm.
smart.
Yeah. Well, I'll eventually get down to that one.
Speaking of smart movies, I don't know if we talked about it. Glass Onion. We
Uh.
did, but we did because we talked about Batista on the last or the who's like the best
Oh, right, right,
WWE
right. Yeah,
star
yeah, we did.
gone
No,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
actor.
Um. Yeah, that's another one I gotta watch. I haven't really put myself out there to watch another movie recently. I don't know, I've just been focused on other things. But I did watch the first episode of The Last of Us, the pilot episode. That one
Mm-hmm.
was an hour and a half. I was surprised. Um,
Was it good?
it was, yeah, it was really good. If you like the game, you're gonna like the show. I mean, it's hand for hand for like essentially the whole thing, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
If you like The Mandalorian and Pedro Pascal, you'll
I
like it.
mean, it's okay. So we've talked about this before the show even came out, where I'm just like skeptical about Pedro Pascal being chosen. It's not that I didn't think that he couldn't do it because I mean I fucking love the guy. He's like yeah, the Mandalorian, and then
Mm-hmm.
if he didn't have such a short-lived role in Game of Thrones, that probably would have been my favorite character on there. Um, but no, I just felt like it should have gone to like someone we didn't really know to play Joel. But I mean, he's there. It's whatever. I have no issues with it. He's doing a great job. I was really surprised with the girl that plays Ellie. She's doing great as Ellie.
She's
Yeah.
she was also in Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah,
She was the House Mormont chick, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
She's
I
the
Um,
didn't
she's
watch
the
that.
little bossy chick
yeah.
that
She had a pretty badass. She had multiple badass scenes in that show.
I think I rewatched a clip recently where she was Jon Snow is back at Winterfell and with Sansa and
Yeah.
she was like standing up for him being like, all of you fucking left and none of you backed up the north when this happened with the Boltons and this and that. Where were you? Where were you? I for one stand with the true king of the north, and then she got everyone else to join in and get behind Jon Snow being the
Yeah.
king of the north.
She's a G for that. Um, but yeah.
Very
Sorry, go
Never
ahead.
mind, go ahead.
No, you finish up before I go
Oh,
back to it.
nope, nope, nope.
So going back to The Last of Us, it it's great because it's already using a very good established story, whereas a bunch of these other video game movies and I think they've only done movies, right? I can't remember a video game show outside of The Last of Us, but um,
Halo.
there we go.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
there's
so
been a few.
these games are popular and very beloved because not only are the characters great, but their stories are great. And for some reason, all these studios want to do the opposite. They don't want to do their stories. They want to do their own thing, thinking they're smart as shit, when then clearly
Mm-hmm.
not. And then they don't know why that their fucking show or movie failed. So, I mean, it doesn't. It seems slightly redundant, but at the same time, not to remake it into entertainment because not that many people have played the games and they would get to experience those really good stories without having to play the game.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm just glad that they're pretty much sticking to the story so far. They did do something slightly different in the pilot episode. Spoiler warning ahead. I don't know. I'd say like skip like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes of this. But so this in the very beginning, right? You guys played when Joel is out working or whatever, and the daughter's waiting for him to come home, and it's his birthday, this
Mhm.
and that. So part of the story is she's really cool with the neighbors, and there's an old lady that can't move, so she's pretty much just like surviving for the rest of her days while like her I'm assuming husband and then also like caretaker just like watching over her or whatever. So she comes over, hangs out with them every now and then. But in this episode, she comes over in the process of people talking about like all the infections going on around the world. And then while the daughter is like looking at like shelves to like look at I guess movies or a book or whatever to like take home. Yeah, it was a movie. She was trying to take it home to like watch it because she hasn't seen it. Bro, this is like some scary shit. Like this is like from It Chapter 1 type of shit where she's checking like the whole bookshelf and then the lady that's in the wheelchair is right behind her, blurred out, and she's just like, kind of like twitching, moving around, like her mouth is widening up, this and that. The girl has no fucking idea what's going on, and she's minding her own business, and then picks the movie, goes to the kitchen, and just asks if she can borrow it. Like that, like for anyone that has seen It Chapter 1, it reminded me of
The
when
old
one of the
lady
kids, yeah,
in the
when one of
apartment.
the library, when the kid goes to the library and the old
Yeah.
lady's just staring at him and smiling at him, like blurred in the background. Yeah, that was really creepy.
Unnerving. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it might have been at chapter 2 then, where she was in the lady's apartment, and the lady like starts, doing what you're talking about, and uh, yeah, just same vein. It's creepy.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, they that added scene to it that wasn't part of the game was a really cool creepy factor that they added into it.
Mhm.
Um, there was there was an Easter egg in there, kind of like it doesn't break the story or anything like that. It was just like something that a viewer ended up catching. Um, I wish I had the link on the Reddit, but he was talking about how when they're driving in the car and they're listening to the news, and the news is talking about how um, the infection is going through like what is it, wheat or like yeast
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Um, and then like a little bit later, it goes into the next day where it's Joel's birthday, and he wakes up in the morning and his daughter is making breakfast, and she was like she wanted to make him pancakes, but something happened where she just didn't, and the viewer was just like, they could have probably gotten infected if they made those pancakes,
And
but they
then
didn't.
somebody else was on
Mhm.
like a gluten-free diet or something, so they didn't have that too, I believe. Another character, I don't know who or what, but they were on a diet that restricted them from having that wheat.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
that's another reason why they didn't get infected.
Mm. Yeah, I didn't see another. It might have been in the second episode. I'm not sure, but
No,
anyways.
it was in the first. It was a Reddit thread that I saw.
Oh, gotcha. Um, yeah, that was a pretty cool little Easter egg. But no, dude, so far the show is great. Just from that one episode, it's awesome.
That's good.
Um, the who am I thinking of right now? The person that plays Tess in that show. Where, um, because I was surprised that it was that actress. It was Anna Torv. She played in. There we go. Mindhunter. Have you guys seen Mindhunter?
I've only
That
Netflix.
is
seen two
the
episodes.
one where the serial killers, right?
Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
just
the
interviewing
surgical
them, trying to
serial
figure out what's
killers.
going on with their
I
Yeah.
brains.
believe I watched the first season, yeah.
Uh, I was surprised to find out that the lady that plays Tess was also the third main character in Mindhunter. And then I looked more
Mhm.
into her stuff, and she played. I'm assuming. No, I'm not even gonna assume this is the main character, but she voiced someone in the game Heavenly Sword.
Mm.
So that was
Oh,
interesting. But
oh, she also apparently played on Fringe and in the Pacific.
yeah, Fringe, that show.
So, in similar vein to games coming to TV, I know you guys don't watch or listen to Critical Role, but their first campaign, they animated it. It's called Vox Machina,
I've
and
heard of
they
this.
have two seasons now. The second season just came out. If you don't know anything about D&D, if you don't know anything about Critical Role, it is still a great fucking show to watch.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of
It's funny, it's gory, it's fun. I highly recommend it. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's short.
speaking of like Critical Role and all that, Matthew. So this is just like a quick aside. Um, one of the guys, Penguin. You guys, I think you have met Penguin.
Yeah,
He's coming up with all this stuff for our new D&D campaign, and I'm gonna be DMing it. If you guys want to be
great,
a part of it, you can. Um,
great timing, by the way.
because one of our guys wanted to use one of Matthew Mercer's custom classes on Roll20 or D&D and Beyond, one of those sites called the
Yeah,
Blood Hunter. And I was looking through that shit. That shit is way too fucking overpowered, even
yeah,
at the starting. Like that shit, like you can like fucking lose some health and put a fucking blood curse on people, where
yeah.
they just like fucking blow up and shit. It was.
Damn.
So I say wonderful timing because in the last couple weeks, Wizards of the Coast, who are the guys who own the D&D IP and Magic the Gathering too,
Mhm.
um, they have decided that they want more money
Oh.
because there is too much money being thrown away from D&D. So far D&D has kind of been like an almost open source thing where people
Hmm.
have just been able to freely, get they're going to start charging like Critical Role for example. They're going to start charging people like or companies like Critical Role to use their stuff if they make more than like call it like $75,000 or something,
Jesus.
and they're charging like something ridiculous like 50% of everything
Ooh.
after that. And now the whole D&D community is in an uproar, and there are other companies coming out and being like, "Okay, we're just going to make our own shit and make it free because fuck you guys."
Right.
So they're trying to be money grubbing, and oh, I'm gonna butcher this because I don't remember the quote exactly, but one of the top executives for Wizards of the Coast responded to like a tweet or something where the guy was saying like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna win and they're gonna lose. Like we're gonna win this and Wizards of the Coast is gonna lose. And then the guy responded in like the most petty, like the one of the executives responded in the most petty way, saying, "You think that you're gonna win, but we're actually gonna be the ones that are gonna win." And and then I think he said that you're gonna win too, or something like that. Like they're gonna give us more, but he was being really petty about it. It's like that's such a poor way to fucking because he's saying, "Oh, we're gonna win." Like, come on, dude,
Yeah,
go.
Mhm.
and that's such a shitty time too because I feel like this is probably the best time for anyone to get to know what D&D is. I
It's
mean,
on the rise again. Like it got popular in the 70s or 80s when they had the big rush of like, that those campaigns coming out and all that.
yeah,
But now we're getting media with it, like
yeah.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, We have
Critical
an
Role.
actual D&D movie coming out, Dungeons and Dragons, which for
Yep.
anyone that hasn't seen the trailer yet, it looks fantastic with Chris Pine in it. He's the main character, I believe. Um, Michelle Rodriguez, fucking love her. She's always playing some badass chick. Um,
She
and then
plays herself in everything, though.
and
She's always the
I
same
am
character.
okay with that. Like her characters are just so fun when she plays them. Um, like when she played SWAT, or she was also an Avatar. Like I mean, she's essentially herself, like you said. I mean,
Yep.
that's awesome. But
Female Machete.
yeah. And then one of the most interesting ones to me, before I even really cared about D&D, was Vin Diesel's movie The Last Witch Hunter. And that movie was based off of one of his characters that he created for a campaign. And like I didn't know that until after I saw the movie, but that movie was really fucking good. I
Vin
really
Diesel is
enjoyed
a
it.
giant D&D nerd.
Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for part of advertising for his Last Witch Hunter movie, I think he also ended up using that same character in a campaign with Critical Role.
Yep, he was in an episode. Might have been a one-off. I don't remember, but he was in an episode or two.
Yeah, so it's just crazy though. Like there's just so much media attention right now for D&D, and they want to make these weird ass moves. Like fuck, dude.
Because it's getting so much attention.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, we're missing out on literal millions," and it's just like,
Some greedy
then you
ass
should have done
motherfuckers.
that 30 years ago
Right. Like this.
instead of coming out with a new rule book or a new player handbook once every 10, 15 years, and then people buying it and then just putting it for free on online.
Right. Yeah. No,
Apparently,
fuck
they're
those
going
greedy.
based off of they're going off of D&D Beyond subscriptions.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I just saw that too. They're like putting up to $30 per player for D&D Beyond
What the
subscriptions.
fuck?
that and they they're like, oh, as long as we don't lose subscriptions, and it's just like, dude, you got
Y'all motherfuckers don't need subscriptions. What you need is that
Jesus.
fan base, that community that loves everything about it. Like that's what kept
Mm-hmm.
it going for so long, and it managed to stay afloat long enough to where it just shot back up again. Like that's all you really need is a really like respect your fan base, respect your community, and it'll just keep giving back.
and now, like, again, it's not an easy task, but it's easier to I have the player handbook, I have the monster manual, I have all of these different don't bite me, you dick. I have all of these things um that if I wanted to create my own D&D shit, like, hey, copy my homework but make it look a little different, right? Like just
Yeah.
fucking do that and create your own fucking book. Like that this
Pretty
source
easy.
material has been out for so long, like
Mm-hmm.
big companies are probably going to do this and make money off of it, or like there are dedicated community members who will do it for free.
Did you see the changes they're going to be making to the D&D subscriptions too?
No.
$30 per month per player, deauthorized OGL 1.0 alpha, homebrew banned at base tiers, stripped down gameplay for AI and DMs.
Hmm.
So like now
I
you can't
Okay.
even do your own homebrew shit.
I want to know what Critical Role's response to this is going to be, because obviously they work very closely with these guys.
I think there was a
Mm-hmm.
response on it because Philip DeFranco did a video on this whole news situation, and he brought up Critical Role. I think. I haven't really delved into this whole thing, but you guys obviously know more than I do at this point. So I mean, I would assume that they would say something at this point. It's been what, like 2 weeks since it's happened.
Yeah, Critical Role releases official statement on Dungeons and Dragons OGL controversy. Um, this article is not very long. I'll just read it. Critical Role, one of the most famous Dungeons and Dragons actual play games or actual play streams, recently broke its silence. Statement came on the heels of Dungeons and Dragons' recent response to outcry against its plans to change the open game license in D&D. Uh, shortly after the fifth edition Dungeons and Dragons release, Critical Role composed whatever famous voice actors. Um, they responded. It stated it supports both its industry peers and Dungeons and Dragons creators making their own system. It mentions Darrington Press, its own publishing company, as an example of its own effort to add to the creative collective by broadening the field of creators and attributes. So it sounds like they're uh, gonna be doing their own thing too. Critical Role commits to fostering an environment that allows everyone. Why do I get an ad on this fucking website? Um, that allows everyone the opportunity to easily share the stories they wish to tell. So sounds like they're against it. Sounds like they're gonna work on their own thing. Um, these recent actions of Wizard Coast have raised tension across the entire industry. With such a large fan base, Critical Role needed to make a statement. Um, yeah, just saying, this is the right thing for Critical Role to do.
Right.
However, other fans were quick to point out that Critical Role statement was actually legally ingenious, though carefully crafted as to not openly decry Wizard of the Coast. Several sections of the statement show its support of Dungeons and Dragons fans. So they're saying that like they're not putting their foot in controversy with Wizards of the Coast, saying like we're going to actively go against you, but also kind of low key saying we're going to go against you.
Right.
Um, yeah.
I mean, it's really the only move at this point if they're just going to keep if Wizards of the Coast are actually going through with all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like
D&D Beyond is one of Critical Role's biggest sponsors, so disparaging Wizards of the Coast would have been a poor financial decision. So sounds like that might still be a little out in like we don't know.
they could probably just do a thing where like for now they'll just stick with D&D Beyond and they're just going to keep doing campaigns and stuff, and then once they're ready they're going to unveil their own thing.
Because I think they actively do use D&D Beyond, but they could easily switch away from that, especially with Matt. Matt's such a fucking genius.
Yeah.
He's making his own characters. Like fucking...
Dude, Matt is like, give me
And his
1% of
voice
that
acting
brain.
is fucking mint, bro.
Is half.
I fucking wish I could do half the voices he could, man.
All right, Billy, when you watched Naruto, was it dub or sub?
I did sub.
So so Kara and I are slowly getting through it, and Gara, the English voice actor, is one of the guys on Critical Role. And there's a part where, if you remember, Sasuke used Chidori through his little like ball shield, and Gara sees his own blood, and he's like, "That's my blood!" And like he's screaming at the top of his lungs. The Japanese did amazing, but I believe his name is Liam. Maybe not Liam. But might be Liam. But whoever did it in the English, chef's fucking kiss. He kills it as Gara.
So I think I know exactly because I remember when I was younger watching it on Toonami, it was dubbed, and that I definitely remember that scene. I just don't remember it as prevalently as the latest time I watched it.
Speaking
I
of
think I remember what you're talking about.
Cool voice actors, I don't know if you guys knew this, but if you play Ghost of Tsushima dubbed or dubbed in Japanese, the voice of Zoro plays Jin Sakai, the main character.
Yes.
And that shit is so fucking cool, dude. Just it fits him perfectly, honestly.
I posted it in general if you guys want to listen to that, but the difference is great. It's a 30-second clip.
For sure. We'll look at
they're,
it.
They're both so fucking good.
Hell yeah. Yeah, but I mean, we'll see what happens with all that, because it just barely happened, and right now it's like little by little others are responding to it, so
I think Wizards of the Coast is going to make a decent chunk to start, and then they are very quickly going to see a drop in any revenue whatsoever. Because people are probably going to what we kind of said with Critical Role, start with their own or with like keeping with this, and then quickly turning away once the next thing pops up.
Well, also it's already pretty expensive. I mean, the books, the
Oh, they're not
characters
cheap.
slash miniatures that you want to
Mhm.
like create your own way, paint your own way, and then a bunch of other
None of
stuff
that's
to go
cheap.
with it. Like it's
The dice, the fucking dice. Oh my god, I don't know how much of that is actually like them, Wizards of the Coast, but oh fuck, people buy like I have probably 12 different sets of dice,
yeah, that's and
ranging
those are
from $5 to $75 each.
yeah. So I mean, just adding more for these people to like constantly pay, and especially a monthly thing, like
$30 a month per
fuck,
player?
dude, fuck.
That better be unlimited characters.
Mhm. They better have like all the fucking benefits, unlimited characters, fucking
Does that mean if
unlimited access.
so is there a free version? Do we know? Like if
I
I
feel,
sign on to my D&D Beyond right now, can I see my character sheet?
I mean, I can show right now. You should be able to, because I've never paid for any subscription, but I was able to make my character back when we played.
But this is brand new. This
Yeah,
this issue is brand new.
Well, let's find out.
talking about right now. There might be like a little trial where you can see like what you can do with the whole website slash app.
I just want to export my character and then just do it all by hand.
I was genuinely really happy with our characters in that one campaign we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Brad's whole ass just tripping over a rock.
That is my
I
favorite story. He fell from the fucking cliff because he fucking failed his dexterity roll.
I wish I didn't like I'm fine with me being old and all that. I like the gimmick. I wish I wasn't a wizard though. I wish I was like a sorcerer or whatever because being a wizard is like the poor man sorcerer. It's not as good. It doesn't have as many benefits.
Yeah. You seem to have had a lot more fun with the rogue, was it?
Yeah, but that's because I um the rogue has a lot more movement and a lot more versatility, whereas the wizard like yeah, I fell off that fucking cliff or whatever trying to climb up it, but then I went down and I helped you with that fucking half
But
dragon guy
surrounded by the fucking enemies.
and I just destroyed half of that room.
Burnt all
Nah,
your fucking spell slots, but
my rogue is fun with the way I built him because I have a couple cantrips and a couple spells that I have mixed in with my normal rogue stuff. One of those being that I can talk to people's like I can establish a connection with somebody and hold that connection for like an hour or something.
Mhm.
So there was one time where it was me and Greg, and there was a building. We knew there were enemies in the building, and we were trying to figure out like how many there were and how we are gonna do this. So Greg, he was like, "I'm gonna go bust down the door." I'm like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah." So Greg went to go bust down the fucking door. Turns out there was like 9 enemies in there or something. So he telepathically told me, he's like, "Hey, there's like 9 guys in here, and there's one by your door." I blew that door open and I killed 2 guys immediately because he basically gave me call outs.
Nice.
And
He
then we
gave you
just
fucking
wiped that
first
room
call.
together.
That's awesome.
And
So,
again, me being a hold on.
that'd be fine.
Go ahead, Billy. What were you gonna say?
Let's say so. It looks like the changes haven't been made yet. It's still like $5 for their most premium thing, and you get access. The only difference between the $5 and $3, you get you could share the book content. So Might be worth it.
That's all open source, anyways. Like,
Yeah.
they're not open source, but that's all
It
online,
all
anyways.
exists. Yeah,
Yeah.
online.
Not legally anymore, but fucking whatever. Not. I will not illegally download the different books. Wink, wink.
So I wanted to touch up on like one thing before we finish up the podcast, but
Can we stop talking about the penis on the moon, Z? Stop.
okay.
Was it actually that?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
But there was confirmation about the creator of John Wick, or director, I believe. He's gonna be the one helming the Rainbow Six movie, and they are confirming Michael B. Jordan as being the main character, I believe.
Yeah, I just actually just read something about that too.
Which
I'm down.
is funny because, like, what was it, No Remorse or something like that? His Tom Clancy movie on Amazon, that was essentially supposed to be like a prequel to Rainbow Six. His character was supposed to be like the first person to join Rainbow, or like to start up Rainbow.
Right.
So who knows what they're going to be doing with that, if they're even connecting it or not.
Hear me out. Michael B. Jordan. The first thing you see, fade from black, fade from the opening credits.
Oh
He's doing the
It's
Kiwi,
just
Kiwi,
lean
Kiwi.
spanning, yeah. He's got the Wamai disc to make it
It's
even
just like
better.
fucking
Like back,
hands
yeah,
over,
back,
and he's just
back
like,
when Wamai like first started, he was like
That goofy little crab dance.
Yeah.
You could walk around. Oh
yeah,
god.
because he'd have like the thing in his hand, then he'd have this one out just like to throw it.
Yep.
Now, the oldest character in Rainbow is Thatcher. Who would you guys like to see play Thatcher?
Bruce Willis.
Jason Statham.
That guy retired, Brad. He's got issues now. He can't really, act anymore.
What is what how do I say this? Who is Thatcher with? Like
SAS,
what division? What
British SAS.
Daniel
Jason
Craig.
Statham.
Jason Statham. Hell
Yeah,
yes. He would literally
Fuck
be,
yeah.
yeah. Oh my god. I didn't even think about him, but now that you said him, he's the perfect choice, honestly.
He's
Okay.
the obvious choice.
So I don't know lore wise, but to me, Thatcher and Thermite have to be like best friends, right? Because their gadgets go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So who would be Thermite?
An American FBI agent. Gotta sound really fucking cool when he says big fucking hole coming right up.
Daniel Craig.
He's
Daniel
British.
Craig is British.
That's
Unless
fine.
he goes with the Louisiana.
No, please. Fuck. Who? Who would be good for that?
Matt Damon.
God, please no.
Please no.
I picture
Tom-
Matt Damon as like Bandit.
Okay, Tom Cruise or Keanu Reeves?
Neither.
Nah,
think
Keanu would have
Keanu
to
Reeves
be.
is better?
Keanu Reeves for Sam Fisher.
Okay, I can
Actually,
see that.
yeah.
I can see that one.
Fuck yeah. And who was the other one that you said?
Tom Cruise.
Tom
That was more
Cruise?
of a
Nah.
joke one.
Nah,
That was more of a joke.
not as Thermite. Thermite's kind of
Who's
a bigger
the
guy,
shortest
too.
operator?
Yeah, right.
In my eyes, probably Buck. Legion. Gotta be Legion. Or like
Tom-
or
Tom
like
Cruise is
Cav.
gonna be Jaeger. You don't even have to see his face. He's just gonna be wearing
Michelle Rodriguez is fucking Cav. But Brazilian though.
Yeah. No, I mean it could work.
What about
Yeah.
Liam Neeson?
Nothing. Absolutely
No.
nothing.
Liam Neeson is the
Actually,
the leader of Like the guy behind
He's
the
6.
scenes. Yeah.
Maybe.
Well,
Gerard
no,
Butler.
six in the thing is a young guy, right? That's that young guy.
Well, no, that's their code name. So like the person that's in charge is 6. So like
Who's the guy?
Harry.
Yeah,
Oh.
Harry.
Yeah. Because before that, it was actually Angela Bassett. I don't know if you guys remember
Mhm.
watching the
Yep.
intro. What was it? The CQB introduction.
Yep. Yep.
She's talking to everyone. She was the OG 6 for Siege before they ended up giving it to Harry.
Yeah, because they had like that was a whole part of one of their seasons, wasn't it? Where it's like, I'm Harry and I'm taking over for 6.
Yeah. Gerard Butler could be Sledge. I mean, he's
I can see it, yeah.
Ice Cube as
Castle.
Castle.
Oh my god.
Fuck yeah. Gerard
Okay,
Butler as
hear me out.
Sledge.
Dolph Lundgren as Tachanka.
Dolph Lundgren.
No.
He's too old. He's too old for that. Maybe like
I don't want. It has to be a good voice because I don't want him to have his helmet.
maybe
I
in
want
his
him to
like
have his helmet on.
Universal
Well,
Soldier
yeah, he has
days.
to have the helmet.
Well, I mean, the guy that voices him already is perfect because he's
Nah,
loud
is
and
he-
fucking swole. All right, there
Look
he
at
is.
that, he did it. Would Chris Pratt star in it?
I don't
Of course,
like Chris.
of course he would.
Who the fuck is The Rock gonna be? Because he has to be in
We
everything.
gotta get him too.
The Rock's gonna be no, because he's got to show his face.
The Rock is Amaru.
Oh my god, no, The Rock is gonna be
They'd probably make up The Rock Sledge.
Scarlett Johansson is Ash.
yeah, why not?
Who's
No,
who's
just
a
Jessica
handsome-
Chastain. Jessica Chastain is
okay,
Ash.
yeah.
She's like perfect choice for that in my opinion.
Who's a handsome Canadian that could play Buck?
Handsome Canadian. I mean Ryan
Jim
Reynolds.
Carrey. Ryan
Ryan
Reynolds. Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds as Buck.
I would like that.
Okay, I'm alright with it.
Now the voice, that thing's gonna be different. Like
We've got to work Samuel L. Jackson.
Kala
No, Sam-
Kalabib,
Samuel L. Jackson's gonna be 6.
Kalabib as Oryx.
Oh my god.
We work Hugh Jackman in there. If we get get Ryan Reynolds in there.
Hugh Jackman is also
Hugh
Canadian.
No,
Or no, he's
Australian.
He's Australian.
Yeah.
Mozzie, make him Mozzie.
Oh my god. He's the complete opposite.
Oh.
He's gonna be playing another character. So like Mozzie is
Mozzie's the
supposed to be
shortest.
yeah. And he's gonna be the tallest one.
Mozzie's the shortest operator, I believe, that amongst the men.
Yeah. It has to be between him and
Sorry,
Legion.
Tom Cruise can play a woman.
Pizza suit Mozzie.
No. Pizza. Jesus Christ. Tom Cruise as Les Grossman being 6.
Oh my.
Do you remember that character, Brad?
No.
Tropic
That's not-
Thunder? You never saw that movie?
Nope.
Oh, God.
Mm.
Well, yeah.
Now there's a movie for you to watch.
I know. It's one of I call them my cinema sins. I know.
All right, how do we get Sigourney Weaver in there?
You don't.
You
Too
don't.
old.
You
Why
don't.
would you?
Okay, Sigourney Weaver would probably be 6.
She could.
would-
Oh, yeah. 100%
Yeah.
she could be, yeah.
She's the fucking Michelle Waller or whatever of the
Mhm.
of 6.
Should we make Angelina Jolie Eva?
No. Stop with all these old ass actors.
Right.
You're talking about people in their 60s and 70s.
That's
buddy.
right.
We already have our
We're looking
oldest
for
character, which
40s.
is Jason Statham. Like, nothing older than him.
What about Arnold Schwarzenegger as
Eh.
Vigil?
This Mitchell.
You have Sylvester Stallone as Maestro.
I could see a young Jet Li as Vigil, being all
Oh
quiet
my
and shit,
God,
being
dude,
all
Jet
being all
Li is
ninja-y.
Yeah. 100%. God, I miss watching Jet Li movies, dude.
You guys remember Forbidden Kingdom?
I do.
Yep.
Jet Li versus Jackie Chan.
Yep.
Such a good movie.
That was a fun movie.
Was first actual kung fu movie I watched
Oh,
because I
interesting.
never watched kung fu movies growing up.
Okay.
And then I watched
If
movies that don't suck, and they always had kung fu movies on.
if
My
if I
favorite
could
kung fu.
recommend two, okay, maybe three. Three really good kung fu movies. Two of them would be Jackie Chan's. One of them is Rumble in the Bronx. That one's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's a good
Fucking
movie.
arguably like his best movie ever.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
his
Clearly, you
other,
haven't seen any Rush Hours at that point. Then
I mean, the Rush Hours are amazing.
yeah,
At least
dude's
too
one
made
and
so
two.
many good movies.
too good.
The second one I would say would be Jackie Chan's Legend of the Drunken Master,
Yeah, I've seen that.
and then the third one would be, I think it was Legend, but with Jet Li. Was it Legend?
Maybe I
That
remember.
Uh,
sounds familiar.
let me see.
When is Mad Dog from the Raid Redemption gonna get his own, string of movies like Jet Li and Jackie
All
Chan?
right,
The- Not
I
the
think it was
2000.
Fearless.
Fearless, yeah.
Was it Fearless? That was what, 2004, 2006. Yes,
Yes,
Fearless. Uh huh. Fearless. That would be Jet Li. Three of the best kung fu movies ever. Fucking love that shit, dude.
But have you guys seen the movie Kung Pao?
Nope.
No.
That's one of my favorite. It's like it's kind of like
Comedy.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
comedy. It's like Rush Hour, but when I was young, like my favorite scene was the baby, like an actual fucking newborn baby fighting a cow so it can drink milk from its its udder.
It's so fucking goofy.
It fucking like squirt the udder shit.
Speaking of Rush Hour, apparently they just confirmed within the last like 2 weeks that they are going with the fourth Rush Hour movie. And I could have
What?
swore that they already confirmed it like at least a year ago.
If it doesn't have Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, I'm not watching it.
Jackie
No, I'm
Chan,
pretty
right?
sure it's both of them.
Better fucking be.
Um, Jackie Chan says Rush Hour 4 is in the works. From
So what do they
Variety.
do?
I would hope they don't make it too actiony and make it more like buddy cop film where they're both old and retired. Make it like Red. Do you remember Red?
Yeah, those movies were dog shit.
Red one was good.
I didn't like any of them. I love the cast, but I didn't like any of them.
But make it like Red where they're not like doing too much because I don't want Jackie Chan to hurt himself. But two, I don't want them to just throw in a fucking stunt double for a guy who's clearly 70 years old.
Yeah, I wonder, because Jackie Chan did all of his stunts. So I wonder if he's
Mhm.
gonna try to, like, ego his way into, like, constantly doing his stunts for this movie.
Is
He's
he also
already announced that he's not going to be doing his own stunts as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Is he also going to be training Jaden Smith in this one too?
Yeah. Actually, Jaden Smith is Chris Tucker's
It's
son.
Tucker's kid.
Can I get a Chris Tucker stunt double to be Michael B. Jordan, but make it very obvious that Chris Tucker goes for a punch, and then mid punch it switches to Michael B. Jordan, and then as he comes back, it's Chris Tucker again.
Or as he's like taking a punch, it's Michael B. Jordan. When it goes back, it's Chris Tucker.
Let me get like an actual left of screen fade in. It's Michael B. Jordan, and then fade out back to like something you do in Windows Movie Maker.
They tried getting Jackie Chan in the Expendables movies, but he was telling
Yep.
them no because he wanted to have like he wanted it to be a not a buddy cop thing, but like a duo thing, like he's
Mhm.
usually doing. So
Yeah.
that never
Do you want
happened.
to do a Jet Li? Jet Li was in those movies.
Yeah. which he was also underutilized in that movie. So it's a good thing Jackie Chan didn't do it. But
I don't think I watched. I watched the first two. I don't think I watched three.
it's not worth it. But just watch it just to watch it.
The only scene I remember is the tunnel with the dual AA-12s. Do, 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 do.
Yeah.
Terry Crews
It's a
just
good thing.
blowing apart those guys.
Very memorable.
Expendables 4. I just tried looking up Expendables 3, and then 4 pops up on the IMDb search. 50 Cent is in it.
Biddy.
50 Cent with Jason Statham. So that's weird. Megan Fox. That's weird. But
So this one's gonna suck.
we get Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais. I don't really know how to pronounce that name, but it's the dude from The Raid.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not Mad Dog.
No.
Mad Dog stole the show.
Mad Dog's too busy doing John Wick.
Mad Dog stole the show. He's so good.
He really did. Love that guy.
I still never watched Raid 2. And Mad Dog's in that one too, just as a
Yeah.
different character.
Yeah, I'd have to rewatch the second one because I remember not liking it. I don't know if I'll like it again or not.
I just remember watching one in Madden's basement and all of us just going nuts because
Yeah.
it was insane.
The choreography / fight scenes and
And
amazing.
I walked in so skeptical because this is the same man who tried showing us Rubber.
Yep. And for those of you that don't know, Rubber is just a tire that goes around killing people.
Homicidal tire.
Yeah.
Like rubber tire.
Well,
It's such a good movie. What do you mean?
no. Open House is better, and I don't like Open House.
It's better.
Open House 2 2023 release. I'm calling it.
Featuring Jackie Chan.
Featuring me.
And
Put
Chris
me in the
Tucker.
fucking movie. I have talked more
Brad's
about that
directing
movie than
it.
anyone else on this goddamn planet.
It's actually Brad's movie. We
Passion
just don't know
project.
this. He uses a different name for directing. So
I actually
Bradley Incident.
filmed it during my house hunting process.
it makes sense. He did it all in like 2 days. But
There is the bomb.
Fun fact, I know we're signing off. I didn't see this house before we bought it. I only saw it on video. Kara showed me.
Oh,
people do that. That happens.
Yeah.
Well,
sometimes it's just what you gotta do.
well, boys, it was a good one. Yeah, thank you for everyone that joined us and joined us on the live stream as well. Y'all have a good night. Deuces.